Final Four and bowling's Clash of Champions here at the Reno Event Center in Reno, Nevada. You can bowl in the USBC Open Championships right here in Reno at the National Bowling Stadium. Spots of the 2010 and 2011 tournaments are still available, but going fast. For more details, log on to bowl.com. Let's take a look at our matchups now. A traditional 10-frame format. The remaining women facing each other, the men against each other. It'll be Liz Johnson against Rebecca Dyers, Dan Vick and Chris Barnes. And Chris Barnes will be first.
And Bill, it's got to be a different mindset now. We went through a clash where it's one ball, sudden death, one ball, sudden death. All four of these people won their clash pods. Now that's real bowling, one game match.
And the clash was really what Chris was worried about. He said, if I get out of there, I'll feel comfortable. I'll be okay. And neither Chris nor Liz Johnson feel like these will be easy matches despite their significant edge in experience. Now Liz Johnson.
Liz Johnson a little trouble on the approach. It'll stick, pulls the ball left, leaves a 3, 6, 9, 10. One of the most difficult spares in the game of bowling. And she will do well to make this in her very first frame. Now Dan Vick up on the left-hand lane going against the PBA Player of the Year, Chris Barnes.
And he matches him with a strike. Dan, 22 years old, from Pittsford, New York, the intercollegiate singles champion. Johnson.
The key pin's the back pin, the 9 pin. You often get the 3 and 6, but the 9 is the sticky one.
An open frame.
Wow, what a shot in the arm for Rebecca Dyers to see one of the greatest women bowlers in the country chop the 3-9 off the 6-10 and give her a big opening in the get-go. Now Dan Vick can put a little early pressure on Chris Barnes with a double.
Does. Comes up big here early on in the semifinals. Now, Rebecca Dyers, and she said that she loves the attention here, and that really helped her thrive in the clash round.
Well, she kept the ball in play, Bill. Remember, she just was always around the pocket, beating up the pocket, beating up the pocket, and that got her through the clash. Let's see what happens here. Nice and straight. Down there. Very nice shot. Could have got a strike. Headpin went to the sideboard and kicked out the 2-4. Leaves a very easy spare of the 7-pin. Now Barnes to answer Vick. Second frame. Pretty good shot by Barnes. Leaves what we call the half 10. Keep it in play, though. Not beating up on yourself now. Rebecca over here for cross lane shot. The 7-pin gets straight over against. Oh, she pulled it. Look out. Good break. Advantage of using a spare ball there, Bill, that doesn't hook hardly at all. There's not much surface friction on it, and it skidded right into the 7-pin. Gave her an easy spare. If you'd used her strike ball, it would have hooked into the left channel. So smart move by Dyers.
Barnes picks up the spare.
Tell you what, Rebecca Dyers gets through these first 3 or 4 frames and not too far behind Johnson or even a little ahead. You're going to have a real match here, and it could be an upset. That's as sweet as it comes right there.
Trying to take advantage of the early open frame by Liz Johnson.
You know, as a top touring player, when you know you're at advantage and you're the favorite and the other person starts out a little ahead of you, you start feeling a little bit uncomfortable, saying, could this happen to me? So let's see how Barnes reacts. He's hit the pocket twice, got 1 strike to show for it. He's wired on that lane 1. That's the lane that got him through the clash as he struck every time. He's just doing a mental mark on where he stood on the approach that time. He hit a little light, and he has strike, spare, strike. Vick leads by 10 as Johnson comes up in her second frame.
Trying to get back on track. And a strike. She won the 2009 USBC Queens Championship on these same lanes that we're using today.
Yes, she did. She shot 247 on 3 and 4 a couple of weeks ago to win the Queens in a very solid match against Kelly Kulik.
Dan Vick. Another strike. And if he's nervous, he's not showing it.
Chris Barnes looks back. I tell you, I've been there before, Bill. When you look at him, he's saying, wow, this guy doesn't know what's happening. But give him credit. He's one of those bowlers that came through the youth program. Now Johnson to try to get a double. Key shot for Johnson. She really does not want to let Rebecca Dyers really think she's got a real easy match here. Now, Vick, can he extend his lead to 30 pins in this match? Yes. Wow. Perfect through 4.
Rebecca Dyers.
Three, 6, 9, 10. That's the same spare that Johnson missed on the left-hand lane. Lane 3 in the first frame. It's going to be a tough shot for Rebecca Dyers to maintain her 2-pin lead. Now it's time for Barnes to react and answer Dan Vick, who started with 4 in a row. Barnes trailing by 30. It's only the 4th frame. He's got a lot of power. He lifts straight through that thing, and he knows he got a pretty good break. So he answers Dan Vick. Now, once again, they got to get the ball over here in the 3-6 zone and carry out this key 9-pin. That's the key shot. Wow, and she gets a great break, Bill, and she carried the 9-pin from deflection and not from power. Watch this as the ball slides through, and watch the 6-pin actually throw it over into the 9. That's unusual, a great break.